What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the content that we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be diving into the Infinite Frontier Detective Comics issue 1034. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with the Infinite Frontier line, or you don't know what happened in Future State, go ahead and check out those links in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on in those events. Now, coming out of the events of Future State, once Detective Nakano, now Mayor Nakano. And with his new power as mayor, he's been running a very vigorous campaign against vigilantes, specifically Batman. So much so that he's enlisted the help of the magistrate. Now, with this going on, and Batman losing his fortune and the manor, he's trying to find a new way how to be Batman, or risk getting left behind by his own city. And if things aren't already bad enough, there's a catastrophic crime wave that's taken hold of the city. Now, this is written by Mariko Tamaki, pencils are by Gleb Melenkov, and Dan Mora. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so the opening pages brings us to Gotham City, at the City Hall District. And there's an event going on, an event that the mayor is hosting. And to be exact, this is actually the fifth fundraiser that he's had this month. He's really trying to establish himself as some kind of great leader, some kind of inspirational leader to all of Gotham's elite, which really goes on deaf ears because they could care less. But the elite show up regardless, because it's all about appearances. And Bruce Wayne, even though he doesn't have his fortune anymore, the Wayne name really does mean something in Gotham still. And so Bruce Wayne is still given a ticket to these events. And he comes just to hear what he has to say about all the anti-vigilanteism and so on and so forth that he wants to do. But as this is all going on, we see none other than the party crashers come jumping in. Kind of remnants left over from the Joker War. And this is where we see all hell break loose. And everybody scatters in every direction. SWAT team has been called and they're on their way, but it's going to be at least 2 minutes. And this is where we see Neil just kind of lose it on the security guards. And the mayor telling him to calm down, like, you know, stop losing your crap right now. Let's get everybody safe. And as the party crashers are shaking everybody down, this is when crashes in Batman, letting them know that the party's over. And he bashes the party crashers up like it is absolutely nothing. Now, Batman's not sure exactly what's going on here. You know, during the Joker War, the crashers, they got their tech from the Joker, who got it from Wayne Enterprises. But gala fundraisers really weren't their thing. And so Batman believes there's something darker here. There's something deeper. Maybe this was even a test. But whatever the case, the mayor's not going to be happy. Because, you know, he's spouting all of this anti-vigilanteism, and then Batman comes in and saves the day. Now, with Batman kind of out of a Batcave anymore, he's had to improvise. And so he's made a series of micro Batcaves placed throughout the city's underground. Kind of like a do-it-yourself cave. And he's literally sat here and dug for 3 days, making his hands sore, making his back ache, but doing what he has to do to be able to operate within inside of Gotham City. And nobody's really cared about subterranean Gotham for at least 50 years. And so he doesn't anticipate anybody really coming down here and messing with him or intervening with anything he's got going on. But now he is a little bit closer to Gotham. He's like inside the city limits. You know, he's able to get better coffee and stuff like that, but he also doesn't really have privacy. And this is when he sees one of his neighbors. His neighbor, Lydia. Now, Lydia is the wife of Neil. And they're having a discussion, and Lydia's inviting Bruce Wayne to this kind of like get-together that all the neighbors are having later on this evening. And she really doesn't give him an option. It's more or less her saying, you know what, you're going to come hang out with us whether you like it or not. And so Batman takes this as an opportunity to really learn who his neighbors are. For the first time, he's never really had neighbors, especially living in the manor, so this is a new experience for him. Now, Linda, she's the daughter of Brian Warren III. She studied art and runs communication for her father's company. And then we're introduced to Sarah and Sam. And all these individuals are very successful. You know, we meet Deb Donovan. she's not a huge fan of Bruce Wayne. But, you know, they're sitting here, they're drinking, they're getting to know one another. They're having conversations about politics, regular people things. But these guys are more upper class. And so the crime surge that's coming through Gotham City, it really hasn't reached them yet. It hasn't touched them yet. To them, it's a story in a newspaper. They're not seeing what's happening on the ground. They're not seeing what's happening in the slums of Gotham. They're not having to deal with what the impoverished have to deal with. So if nonetheless, this was very enlightening for Bruce Wayne. You know, it never hurts getting to know your neighbors just a little bit better and not having all of his access anymore. This is one of the ways that he's going to have to get to know people and learn exactly who they are. But this is when we pick up at Gotham City Hall, and we have the mayor talking to Neil and a few others, talking about what the best course of action is to do from here. Now, they want to do a press release. They have to do a press release. It's all about politics on this aspect. It's trying to save face after this crash-in happened. Now, later that night, Bruce Wayne puts on the cowl, and he lets us know that Gotham's criminal ecosystem, it's shifting. New crews are scrambling to try to get to the top. And he knows this. He's understanding what's happening here. Those party crashers that came in, they were disorganized. But this was a chance for the party crashers to put on a show. For a new investor and a new boss. Because they stole cell phones. They could have stole jewelry and wallets, but they stole cell phones. And this is where we see Batman crashing in on them as they're trying to repair their suits here, and they don't even see it coming. He cleans them up like they're absolutely nothing. And this is when we take over to the next panel, and we see Sarah Worth, one of Bruce Wayne's neighbors. And she answers the door, and she seems to know the individual. Now, we can't tell who it is, and we're not even 100% sure if she actually knows who it is. But this is when we see Bruce Wayne coming home, and then he hears a scream. And it's Sam, screaming because there seems to be a kidnapping. Sarah is gone, and there's glass shattered, lamps broken. Police are there trying to do an investigation on what happened. And Sam is just absolutely losing his mind. And so something deeper at play is going on here. And this is where we see what appears to be Neil, hands covered in blood, walking through the sewers. And that will be where this issue ends. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I have to say I am thoroughly enjoying this issue so far, and I'm excited to see where this line goes. You know, we're in the early stages of the future state. And right now, the magistrate really hasn't taken hold, but they're working hard on pushing anti-vigilante laws and other things. And so really what we're seeing is a foundation being built, and we're seeing Bruce Wayne and Batman both having to adapt to this new lifestyle that he's living. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and until the next breakdown,